Mr. Medic.
Thank you, President. And I just want to start out by saying I thank the members in this chamber who gave up their member statements today to talk about this terrible tragedy, and those who have at great courage, and I know it was very difficult emotionally for them. I thank Mr Lovell and Mr Jepp to talk about those intensely personal experiences surrounding this tragedy. And that's what we need reminding of. We need reminding that at 50 years, it seems such a long time in the past for the rest of us, such a, you know, for many generations of Victorians and Australians, they'd be shocked to hear that such a thing occurred. It's not taught in schools, it's not in the consciousness. But we should be reminded of it, because 35 people lost their lives. Family members, husbands, fathers, and the effects of that rolled down the years. And I just want to let people from this chamber know, and the other place, that there's a memorial set up on a table inside Queen's Hall. Please feel free to go in there, stand at that memorial, take your photos, share them to your social media pages from all sides of politics, because this is an incident where we can all join together and put aside personal and political differences and remember those people and remember the tragedy that's still occurring because of that accident down through the years. So today marks 50 years since that section of the Westgate Bridge collapsed during construction, killing 35 workers and injuring 18 more. I won't try to speak on behalf of those workers, and I've stood in this place many times and talked about my associations with trade unionism. I've talked about the incidents that I've been associated with, but I think that, relating to my earlier remarks, I think what needs to be spoken about is the stories of those men and the stories of people that were around that day. And so a far better wordsmith than I'm going to quote here, and it's from a recent ABC article about the day when 2,000 tonnes of concrete and steel came crashing to the muddy ground. Pat Preston was waiting for Paddy Hannafy at the base of the lift in his small runabout crane when he heard what he thought was the crackling of gunfire. It was actually the sound of bolts pinging from the frame of the bridge. Ian Miller, the engineer who'd been chatting to Paddy just seconds before, landed on the ground a metre from Pat. A young carpenter, Ross Bigmore, landed just to his left. They were both dead. I can still see their faces, actually, Pat said. It was one of those days you'll never forget your whole life. Men who survived the collapse, uninjured, instantly set about trying to help those who were not so lucky. Men who'd fallen from the bridge into the river emerged battered and broken, covered in oil and mud. Some didn't emerge at all. Pat Preston remembers carrying injured men to safety using a broken door as a makeshift stretcher. He stayed at the site until daylight the next morning, listening for the noises from survivors. It wasn't until I got home the next morning that it all hit me, he said. Today, I wear a white rose in remembrance of those workers, and I placed another 52 on a table in Queen's Hall. On 35 of them are a card with the name of a worker who didn't survive. On my card is Peter Dawson, rigger, and I remember him. Today, I want us all to remember what happened at 11:50 a.m, the 15th of October, 1970. I want us all to remember 35 dead and 18 injured. Comrades all, victims all.